Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you expected something to go wrong, only to be surprised when it actually went right? That's what I want us to talk about today. Let's talk about assuming the best instead of fearing the worst. Remember, Neville Goddard says your assumptions harden into fact. And it's your assumptions, your beliefs, what you assume to be true, that shape your reality. So when you are assuming things are going to go better than expecting, you're shifting from doubt to faith. And it's just kind of the way we've been programmed. We've been programmed to sort of look at the world and kind of think about what the worst case scenarios are going to be, and then fear those scenarios before they happen in an effort to prepare ourselves emotionally. Usually not physically. We're usually not prepared when those things really happen with physical items or, whatever we need to really just soften the blow. But the thing is like, if things do go the worst that they could possibly go, it's going to hurt no matter what, or it's going to be the worst no matter what. So why don't you, and that assumption in you is the internal world, that fear, that fearing the worst, potentially is shaping your reality in the outside. And you're seeing the things that do go wrong as opposed to seeing the things that do go right. Like as humans, something else that I do is that I am a Clifton Strengths coach. And in that, the model of Clifton Strengths, you have 34 strengths, talent threads that you can develop into strengths. And you learn what you can learn what 1 through 34 are. And whenever I work with someone and they get their results back, the first thing they do is go to the bottom and start asking questions about the bottom, start asking questions about why they aren't better than they are at some of those things. Start being like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I am terrible at XYZ thing. And the point of it is to focus on what you are naturally gifted in, what your talents are, how you can develop those talents into strengths. But most people automatically choose to focus on what their weaknesses are. But we don't have to do that. We get to choose what we put our focus on. We get to choose what we put our attention on. We get to choose whether we assume things are going to go better than expected or whether they're going to turn out for the worst. And so you're really making a choice anytime you do this. And so instead of thinking, this probably won't work out, these are the worst case scenario things that could happen, think to yourself, this could go better than I expect. This could go really well for me. This could be the best thing that's happened this week. And remember, your assumption is not pretending. You're not pretending, because the thing is that this thing that's in the future is that you don't know how it's going to go. You're choosing in this moment now to put your focus in your internal world on belief that things will go well over fear that they won't go well. So let's just look at some everyday examples. Like, say you have a meeting at work with your boss, and you automatically, it's a meeting with your boss. The invite doesn't have any information about what the meeting's about. Our instinct, sometimes, most of the time, is to fear the worst. But we could believe that this is something positive. We could believe it's going to go better than expected. Expect your, things that you put out into the world. If you invite someone to coffee, expect that to go well. It could even be something simple like traffic on your way to work. Believe the traffic is going to go smoothly and that you're going to get all the green lights. And that energy of belief really shifts you. And then you start to take actions that are a little more positive, that are a little bit more aligned with what you want. You want to assume that you can have ease and that you can have success. Now let's do an exercise today. Pick one thing that you've been either dreading or that you're nervous about. And now say this out loud right now. This thing, whatever it is that you call to mind, this is going to go better than expected. You can even repeat that to yourself as an affirmation throughout the day. And here's another affirmation you can try. Everything always works out better than I imagine. Everything always works out better than I imagine. Let's do this today and this week and see how things go. You can test this. You can test this out and see if I'm right. So thank you so much for listening. May you manifest exactly what you want.